The boss, the genius, not even once in a blue moon does football unearth a man quite like this man.
All of us have a manager inside us, and what FPL does is it takes the experience of watching the Premier League one step further.
It's become an addiction, a hobby and a passion. It started, like most people, in a works mini league against most of the blokes in the office. They didn't like it when I came along, swooped in and won the prize on the very first season. But I just love the fact that you end up watching games in the Premier League that are probably a bit further down your pecking order because it's not necessarily the teams that you support, but you end up seeing some fabulous matches and cheering on players from teams that you don't support because they're getting you fantasy points.
Sadio Mane, Lloris repelled it, and Alexander-Arnold speared it back in.
It's such an icebreaker at parties as well when you're having conversations with friends about football. FPL always finds its way into that conversation. And I think it also, at a certain level, builds your skill sets when it comes to mathematics and analytics, because you're always trying to make probability calculations.
It's a bit of a puzzle that requires a few different skills, some football tactical knowledge, some economics, some maths, some psychology even thrown in there. But I think it's most enjoyable when you've got a good-natured rivalry in a mini league.
Salah's got half of the field to himself. Salah eyeball to eyeball, seals it! Boy, this matters!
I really started playing seriously, I guess, in 2013, 2014 in my first job. So, it was a big part of office life. There was loads of banter in the office about the work mini league, and I won it. So that is what really got me into it in the first place and made me play a lot more seriously than I ever did before.
It just makes Premier League a much more emotional experience. You feel a lot more alive while watching football. And it also leads to a lot of conversation with your friends and family, and you're in touch with them if you haven't been on a regular basis. So I just think it's such a useful, enriching social activity which keeps your brain active all the time.
De Bruyne's cross! Manchester City's lead!
FPL is enjoyable to me because I really welcome the restrictions that it puts on team building. There's certain game modes where it's nice to be able to just pick the players that you think are going to do well, but when you have to think about things like how am I going to manage my budget, how am I going to manage transfers, what am I going to do with my different chips, I do find that to be a good thought exercise for just figuring out the best usage of everything.
If you aren't already playing FPL, I reckon you go to PremierLeague.com and make your Game Week 1 team just right now, because it just takes the experience of watching Premier League football to the next level.
In by Zinchenko, taken by Foden. Gundogan's on the twist and scoring a truly super goal. That is Manchester City at their best.